Firstly, we'd like to welcome you to the Studio School. It's a pleasure to have you here. Obviously, we asked if you could answer a few questions for us.
What do you like about the Studio School ethos?
Well, I'm really impressed by the fact that people learn through doing. So obviously, there's some time that people spend studying over their books or on their screens, trying to make sure that they understand the theory behind a particular subject. But what's great about a studio school is that once you understand that theory, you put it into practice. So whether it's been the wonderful, amazing, beautiful textile design that I've seen outside, not just executed in an amazing way, but then photographed so that people understand every stage of the fashion process. It's the same here. You guys clearly understand the grammar of television and how to construct an interview and how to get a studio to work, but also what we're doing now is essentially running an interview every bit as professional, if not more so, than something that ITN or BBC would do.
From what you've seen at Rye Studio School, what do you like about it?
Oh, well, I like the fact that it's a very open institution that's got students from a huge variety of backgrounds who are passionate about what they're learning. And obviously, I get to visit lots of schools, and I have a sort of a sliding scale in terms of what the test of a good school is. That sliding scale depends on the enthusiasm of the students. That is the principal way in which I can judge whether or not a school is really outstanding. The fact that people here are really keen to let me see them doing things that they love is a sign that this is it's a great place to learn, and I hope a place that you're not just enjoying yourself in, but also feeling that you're being brilliantly well prepared for the next stage in your life.
What do you think about the creative industries?
Well, the creative industries matter so much to Britain. If we think about the impact that we have on the world stage, then if you think about the BBC, if you think about the quality of popular music, if you think about the contribution that we've made to film, if you think about British artists, if you think about composers, both popular and classical, Britain is punching above its weight in every single one of those areas. Now, if we're going to continue to do that, then we need to make sure that people who are creative and who have those talents have the opportunity to be trained and then to contribute. And that means everyone from those who do the precise technical skills like the sound recordists to make sure that at every point, every word that we utter is recorded so it can then be edited appropriately, through to those people like the directors or the designers whose imagination floats free in making sure that something can be created that other people will enjoy. And that, as far as I can see, one of the great things about this studio school is that both of those things are in harmony. There's space for you to be creative, but it's also the case that you have mentors who will help you to understand what the basics are that you need to get right in order to allow your talents to flourish.
Is there anything particular in the creative industries that interests you?
Well, I've always been interested in film, in theatre, in drama and in books. When I was at university, I read English literature, and I'm fascinated by, in particular, which books capture the imagination, which movies, based on which books, become defining for a particular period, and I'm also fascinated by great actors. I think that there's nothing more captivating than being in a theatre where you have that bond between the great actor or actress and the audience, and it's electric. And I think that being able to recreate that on the small or on the large screen as well is an amazing thing. So, from my point of view, drama, I think, has to be the art form that I find most compelling.
Are there any authors or books that have inspired you in your life?
There are lots of authors and books that have inspired me. When I was younger, when I was in Key Stage 3, the author I loved most then was George Orwell. And I loved Animal Farm and, in particular, 1984. And I loved the idea of someone fighting for freedom and for self-expression, even if the odds were against them. And then, as I grew a little bit older, I loved Jane Austen and George Eliot. And the reason I loved those is that they took people who were sometimes unfashionable and they made you realise the virtues and the sometimes quiet heroism of people who weren't always necessarily the people who were the glamour boys or girls, and that moved me. And then subsequently, as I've grown up, I've been moved and excited by films of every kind, but I also have a soft spot for, funnily enough, the Ealing comedies that were made in Britain in the 1940s and early 1950s. Because they seem to me, if you want to sum up what Britain's like, the whole thing is that the Ealing comedies do it brilliantly, because it's about hating bureaucracy, and celebrating the fact that people go their own way and do their own thing.
We're both interested in journalism. Do you have any tips or advice for us?
Well, journalism is changing fast. And I think that some of the big journalistic employers of the past, the traditional newspapers, aren't going to be around perhaps in 5, 10 or 15 years' time. Increasingly, what we will find is more citizen journalism through blogging, vlogging, and through adventurous individuals becoming their own correspondents and sending their own material to different platforms. I think that the best way to adapt to that is to try, A, to feel comfortable in every medium. Make sure that you can write crisply and make sure that what you write when you write is authoritative and accurate. But also understand that whether it's a radio or television, that you have the technology at your fingertips to be able to pass on what you report or what you find to different news outlets. And then the other thing is, at college and at university, of course it's important that you choose the right course. But what's more important is that you get the right experience. So any opportunity that you can get to work in a newsroom, anything from BBC local radio to a university newspaper or website, take it. Because I know myself from having been an editor who interviewed potential young journalists that there are some people who like the idea of journalism, but it's those people who've done it and who've stuck at it that have that extra element which will make them the great reporters or editors or broadcasters of the future.
Thank you for your time, and I hope you're enjoying your day here at Rye Studio School.
It's been lovely, and can I just say thank you to you for the very professional way in which this whole interview's been conducted. And can I also say a special thanks as well to the mentor and the staff here who clearly are doing a brilliant job.
Thank you.
Thank you.